Officials here in New York State taking steps to stop the spread of avian flu.
That includes closing markets that sell live birds. Jennifer Bisram reports that's where recent cases were found.
Governor Kathy Hochul says there haven't been any reported cases of the bird flu in humans in our area. Shutting down poultry farms temporarily is out of an abundance of caution. It was a typical Friday at the Quality Live Poultry in South Ozone Park. People getting fresh meat for their weekend family dinners.
West Indians, we come and get our duck, our chicken. Weekends, celebrate.
But the poultry farm is one of about 80 live bird markets in New York City, Westchester, and Long Island that Governor Kathy Hochul says will have to close its doors to customers for a week.
Over the last week, inspectors have detected 7 cases of bird flu in poultry during routine inspections at live bird markets in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens. Our state egg and markets is now working closely with market owners to depopulate all infected flocks.
That means no poultry can be delivered to the markets. Uninfected ones must sell all inventory, undergo cleaning and disinfection, and remain closed for at least 5 days.
I think that's a big mistake to sell out the inventory. Have they tested every bird? Have they tested all the products that they're selling? What's better is that they be safely discarded. The state should help out those businesses that are losing revenue.
Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal says now more than ever, it's not safe for shoppers and workers.
They're near the birds, they touch them.
Health officials say it is safe to sell the inventory.
5 days no more, so bad for business.
State health officials say avian flu is on the rise, mainly in animals. But 66 people contracted the virus across the country last year, and 1 person died.
I'm going to eat it. I already buy it. I'm going to eat it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty safe. That's why they're still open.
And workers here tell me they will be shutting down tomorrow after all the inventory is sold. And like all the other markets, they'll only be allowed to reopen after a state health inspection. In South Ozone Park, Queens, Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York.
And we have an update on the Canada geese found dead at a park in Westchester. They've tested positive for the bird flu. The town of Mount Pleasant closed Carroll Park in Thornwood after about a dozen birds were discovered dead in a pond on Sunday. Town officials say the park will remain closed until further notice. They are working with the state's Department of Environmental Conservation and the county health department for a plan to clean the park.
And joining us now is Dr. Suraj Saggar, Chief of Infectious Disease at Holy Name Medical Center.
Doctor, thanks for joining us. Producers are clearing markets, as we just saw. Should we be eating the chicken and eggs from the existing poultry?
Yeah, sure. It's a great question. I think it's important for the general public to understand what they should be and should not be concerned. First and foremost, as with other things like salmonella and E. coli, cooking chicken, cooking eggs will certainly deactivate and inactivate the virus, inactivates bacteria. That's why we recommend things like not drinking unpasteurized raw milk, raw eggs, and chicken. I think that what we have to take a step back to understand is that this alert of avian flu in local bird stocks is actually a positive. It means that our surveillance systems are in check and are working. And why is this important? Well, avian flu has been around since the 1950s. That's really no big deal. What we are seeing now is an explosion of industrial farming. So these conditions with industrial farming lead to more likelihood of spread of avian flu. As you alluded to, about 67 people have been acquired avian flu thus far, but all of them have had direct contact either with wild birds, livestock, or dairy farmers. So I want to reiterate, there's no sustained human-to-human transmission. But the key is the longer this virus circulates in animals, the longer it can subsequently gain mutations that may make it, that's the key word, more likelihood to spread from human to human contact, which would then cause much more issues. We don't have that issue right now. Cooking your food properly, taking proper cleanliness and temperature and heat will certainly inactivate this virus.
Doctor, let's talk about the threat to the public. Any medical professional you talk to says that the threat remains low. Please convince me, Dick, and our viewers as to why that is.
Simply because we haven't seen any cases of humans contacting it from other humans. So there's no human-to-human contact. Of course, in our world, we would rather have worrisome upfront and prevent anything downstream. So the idea of having surveillance is so we can very quickly intervene and take out those infected birds from the general population. Now, there does exist, and that's what does certainly in the infectious disease, the public health world, what we are concerned about is if someone contracts it from an animal and at the same time has a concomitant or at the same time has influenza A, as we know, high activity in the New York tri-state area, and those viruses, which are RNA viruses and are kind of sloppy when they mutate, when they replicate, can cause mutations, and that the avian influenza virus then subsequently contracts a mutation that makes it more likely to go from human to human. Again, that's a theoretical risk. There is no evidence that that's happening, but we have to continue to be vigilant and invest in infrastructure, public health surveillance capabilities so that we can stay well ahead of this virus.
Yeah, great. We do have to stay well ahead of it. Dr. Saggar, thank you so much for your expertise.
And we do have continuing coverage of the bird flu and all the concerns surrounding it, also how markets in our area are working to stop any spread. That's all at cbsnewyork.com.